Didn't she say a man with no legs left me for the music?
I will go live when we reach 100 subs. Only 60 more to go. Let's make it happen.
Okay. Let me give a disclaimer because some of you out there know me. Between my teens and late 20s, let's just keep it real. I didn't respect myself and I was always trying to find love in a man, but thank God I found love in Jesus. So amen, I've been redeemed. But hopefully this story and stories to come will help, I'm going to just say it, help young women out there to learn how to respect themselves, consider themselves first before dealing with knucklehead men who don't care nothing about you. Okay, let's get into the story. Where do I begin with the story? Oh, yeah, it all started with hanging out with my best friend. Well, my best friend. And she was a dancer and she had been in Janet Jackson video and some other videos. So I was like, oh, I want to be in videos too. Where do I, who do you dance with or whatever? And that was during the time I was doing the Samba. So this was like the second time I was doing the Samba. And after our performance, we went over to hang out at her cousin's house. And her cousin, he's from the East Coast, so he got this East Coast swag. But not only that, he was highly intelligent. He was like a walking encyclopedia. That is like one of my, they don't even count this as a love language, but it's one of my love languages. Somebody that's like has swag and that's super, super smart and that can reiterate knowledge and explain it in layman's terms. I'm just like eating it all up. I think that comes from my grandfather because my grandfather was super smart. And so I'm just like in awe, like, how do you know all this? And how do you retain all this? I don't understand. And so I was intrigued. So not only did he have the swag and not only was he smart, he was also a musical engineer. I have learned those aren't the right guys for me. Anybody in music, drummers, rappers, wannabe singers. Yeah, because they're kind of abstract. They on a different plane. They're not with us. And that's probably why they're so mesmerizing, because people are like, how is all this coming out of you? But as far as relationships go, well, in my case, as far as relationship goes, no, not a good idea. I was always going to steal somebody's word, but I'm not going to steal her word. I'll let her do that on her channel. So during this time when I was intrigued by the cousin, her cousin, I wasn't living in LA, but I would travel every other weekend to come to LA because the small town I lived in, it was like an hour and a half away. I couldn't stand it. Oh, there was no life there. And the only reason why I was there is because of my grandparents, really. Even though my mom and my uncle and my aunt was living there, but it was really because of my grandparents. But other than that, I couldn't stand it. There was nothing to do there. It was almost as bad as the small town in college. So needless to say, I would travel back and forth to LA to see the best friend and also the cousin. And there was one time I was hanging out in the studio with the guy, and it was getting late. So I wasn't in the engineering booth or whatever you call it, because you know how they got the sound booth and this engineering booth, and then outside it was like a lobby area. So I was in the lobby area, and because it was getting late, I was falling asleep. And he was so sweet to give me a blanket. That blanket didn't have cooties. But, so that was another thing that kind of turned me on about him was, I was like, oh, he cares. He gave me a blanket. Yada, yada, yada. And he did some other sweet things. I mean, I guess driving me back and forth from LA all the way to that other city, I guess that could be sweet too. He did some things that made me like him more and more. Of course, it came to the time where, you know, and I was telling him I do not want to be in a what he called a fly-by-night relationship. I want to be in a serious relationship. And he was like, yeah, okay, me too. So I thought we were on the same page that, you know, we're in a serious relationship. Should I have specified that, you know, it's just you and me and nobody else? I mean, yes, the mother of your child, that's different, but no, I don't mean for you to be with the mother of your child. But yeah, I thought we had this understanding. Time goes on, and he starts ghosting me. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, like I said, back then I was all mushy. I'm still mushy with the right guy whenever that happens. I even do like my space, but when it's time to be mushy, I'm just mushy. I don't think anybody's seen that side in a long time. But, you know, one day somebody's kind enough to want to marry me, they'll get that side. Like I said, he started ghosting me. And I get on the phone one evening and leave this heartfelt, mushy, long message on his answer machine. I don't even remember what I said. I just know it was a lot. Me pouring out my heart, like, how could you do me like this? I thought we were together. Yada, yada, yada. I can't believe you're doing this to me. And I don't remember, you know, something to that along that lines. Well, the next day, I get a phone call, and it's his number because on the caller ID you can see his number. So I pick up the phone, and it's this woman basically saying, yeah, I heard your message. Or no, she said, we heard your message. And you can stop calling now because he's my man now. Okay. Sure, why not? Didn't call him back after that. And then some time later he called and he was like, yeah, she shouldn't have said that. She was out of line. Did he ever apologize for putting me in that situation? No. So we stopped talking for a moment. I don't know how long we stopped talking, but somewhere along the line we started communicating again. Do not have relationships out of marriage because, you know that phrase, demise. Yeah, that's what happened. We just go, yeah. Oh. We eventually got back together, and somewhere, I don't remember if we had this, I don't even want to say a conversation because it was more like a monologue. I don't remember if it was in his apartment or if it was when he was taking me home, but he was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna go back to the East Coast because LA's not doing it for me. You know, the music's not happening out here like it can in the East Coast, and plus there's nothing here for me. Hello? 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 And I wish I had said this out loud, but I just said it in my head. I'm like, what am I, chopped liver? I'm like, didn't we just make up and now you're going back to the East Coast? What was that? I wish I had spoken up because either way it goes, I mean, you know how you say, I didn't want to speak up because I thought I would lose him. Well, I was losing him anyway, but did I really lose anything? At least I didn't have to worry about somebody playing head games with me. And you guys are probably asking, didn't she say a man with no legs left me for the music? Well, here's the thing. So in the 90s, you know, we wore baggy, well, no, I wore baggy clothes. we wore baggy clothes. So on the average, a person that would see him walking around wouldn't know that he wore prosthetics. But yeah, he wore prosthetics. I'm not gonna tell what happened to him because some of y'all watching probably know who I'm talking about. But so yeah, so even with his prosthetics, he still had that East Coast swag and the walking encyclopedia and the musician and dogging women out. Him having no legs didn't stop him at all. This is a story about the time a man with no legs left me for the music. Please share with me any stories you have about relationships that didn't go right. Leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions for me, also leave them in the comment box below. This has been Dawnie to the Max. Please like, subscribe, and share. And before I say hit that notification bell, men and women, respect yourself first. If you feel something that just ain't right, speak up. Because even if you lose that person, you're so much better off because they didn't mean you any good anyway. So if they're gonna leave because you respected yourself, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Like really, was it worth it? Yet again, like I said, Dawnie to the Max. Please like, subscribe, and share. And you know what to do. Ding! Hit that notification bell. See you next Wednesday. Bye. I so gotta get used to this camera. I just did a whole video and nothing recorded. Let's get into the story. This is about the time a man with no legs left me for the music.